color.
Hiya! Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all my wonderful people filled with greatness. You know I had to come right back after that tragic mess of Rendo's root and come right back with some more Cafe Enchant. So now we finally begin with the one I wanted to initially was number 2, but I'm glad I got Render out the way. He's a nice palate cleanser. So let's see what number 2 is talking about. So I had to figure out where I actually had him because I have so many save files. I had to take notes. So let me go back all the way yonder. Jeez Louise. I got this all the way back here. Oh no, it's not that far back. Bear with me. Or cat with me. Let's see here. Jeez, I don't know where the heck I had it at. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, here we go. Jeez. Alright, got it. So we all the way up here. So, at the end of chapter 8, going into number 2's route. Being careful not to wake Kororo up and quietly step down to the cafe. Huh? Considering how late it was, I didn't think anyone else would be here, but... That's from question mark. I felt like I heard someone's voice coming from the backyard. I wonder if someone's there. A bit curious, I peeked into the yard, but I didn't see anyone, thinking it was my imagination when I was about to head back into the cafe when... my favorite. This is my favorite, y'all. Next to Monsieur. A voice came from above, along with feathers drifting down to me. 2 quite literally began to float down after asking me these questions. Ah, you surprised me. I was wondering whose voice I was hearing too. Wait, 2, were you just up on Enchant's roof? I'm really hoping this will be a sweet one. I really am. Singing? That's right. I thought I heard that voice in my conversations before. That's what it was. I thought so before, and I heard you from a distance during the incident today. Your voice is really pretty, huh? Yeah, I can't articulate it well, but it's different from a regular singer. There's something divine about it. Maybe it sounds pure, something not infused with anything else. And it just feels like you, I guess. Two blinked in confusion for some reason. Oh, maybe that's a little esoteric. That's from 2. Is it not actually true? Just a second. Smiling at me, II looks up to the sky. The moon hung there in the distance. He whispers with his pure voice as if looking out to somewhere far away. No matter what strange things happen in the world, the morning will always find its way to greet us the next day. To provide hospitality in those mornings in the day to inevitably follow is my duty. Yes, for those who are human and those who aren't. That's exclamation point. Hello! Welcome to Cafe Enchant. No matter who my guest is, I'll always greet them with a kind smile. Where memories and the aroma of coffee fill the room in this strange and sprightly cafe. Here we go, on to number 2 finally. Whoop, whoop. Oh man, I already don't like the way he looking. Why are you looking so sorrowful? A melodious. You already chipping me up. See, you looking sorrowful and you got me a difficult word to pronounce. So a melodious something. Correct me if I'm wrong. I know I can look it up, but I'm not gonna look it up this early. It's 6 a.m. and I'm doing this before work. Talk about grit. So that word, birdsong, signaled the crisp dawn, drawing my ear to the joyful chirps. How lovely! The sunlight stunned my eyes, sore from slumber, as I shuffled to look out my window. It was idyllic, almost as if the Amasaki Island incident had never happened. Enchant sat below the brilliant sky, blue and infinite. But it wasn't the tranquility that stole my attention on this fine morning. II and his forever gaming stuff. Same here.
Ignis 隣の新作ゲーム特集のページです。この記事によれば私が人間界に来て初めてプレイした乙女ゲームが近日リメイクにて再発売されるらしいのです。
Ignis just like, oh, I don't care about that.
古いがゆえにソフトもハードも壊れ、ダウンロード版も発売されず、時代に取り残された悲しき名作。 れが10年以上の時を経てまたプレイ可能になろうとは。
I actually feel his plight. I wish they would remake Silent Hill, but we get 2 and 3.
これこそまさに奇跡。きっと私の原作への愛と祈りが天に届いた結果でしょう。
That's exactly how I feel. The way his face is looking. And to think I had the chance to play Silent Hill, but I was too freaking scared of the fog. Now I want to test my... Well, I'll still be scared. Ignis is just icy.
聞いていますか、イグニス？
No.
ああ、聞いてた聞いてた。落としちまった限定リンゴタルトが再販されたって話だろ。よかったな。
Spoken like a true fellow. Ignis munched on a cheeseburger. Ooh, I gotta tell you, this cheeseburger I had at the Cardinal Stadium the other day, just immaculate. It's my first time going to the baseball stadium since it opened here in St. Louis, since it was rebuilt in 2005. So yes, imagine my surprise when I figured out how good the cheeseburger was. So anyway, Ignis munched on a cheeseburger with no intention of looking back at the magazine. The weather brought with it good conversation, another one of the day's peaceful gifts. But the best gift of all was seeing II's gleeful smile as he waxed poetic about this favorite Otome game being remastered. The clock chimed as the minute struck the hour. It dawned on me to say something to II, who was still engrossed by the article. II, shouldn't you get ready? Go on and prepare your belongings before we go.
おや、もうそんな時間ですか。それでは部屋から財布を持ってきますね。
II hummed a gentle tune and skipped upstairs. Then, as if to replace him, Canis emerged from his room and waited for II to pass before heading down the staircase. Don't worry, Canis, you'll forever be my first scenario hubby. Yep, we've been planning this trip to an Otome cafe for a while now. As the name suggests, a cafe open in collab with games and anime. Most of them are held for a limited time only, and many fans of the original work come to visit. They can have anything from limited goods to original food dishes. Oh, I wish we had something like that here. Oh, you lucky people. But not my kind of cafe. Let me see something. Okay. How to put this? They call it a cafe, but the experience is way different. They devise a menu based on locations or things from the game. They even sell merch. He went on and on about collecting all of the limited coasters to complete his little fandom shrine.
あいつ働かねえくせに金は持ってるから立ち悪いよ。
It was indeed likely the angel was in his room, stuffing fistfuls of gold into his pouch. I momentarily indulged in my daydream when Ignis pointed his nose at me sternly.
あの乙女ゲームのイベント以降、箱入りが外に興味を持ったのは、まあそれは歓迎すべきことだけど。
This guy Ignis, you should be stopped getting at II like that after you almost killed him and ate me.
あんな甘やかしすぎんなよ。
Calling him that word. Only I can say it. And II ain't that. I'm not spoiling him. Besides, going to other cafes is good for business. Consider it market research.
活動的になったという点だけ見ればとても喜ばしいことなのだが
That reminded me, when I had first moved to Enchant, II shut himself in his room to game for hours. Ignis took great offense to this and barked.
出てこい結界を解きやがれ引きこもり剣士
Leave us alone. Gaming for hours is our recouping time.
てめえも3日はほとんど部屋から出てねえだろ飯ぐらい食いに来やがれってんだ
Okay, 3 days in a row is kind of excessive. I ain't gonna lie.
私はこの作品の全ルート攻略が完了するまで集中すると購入当初から決めていたのです
Sometimes it be like that as well. I can't with his ass. I gotta record that. My stomach. He did not have to freaking fire, like burn down the door. So, on the second floor, a conflict of sorts waged between a fallen angel and a beast fighter. There were more than a couple instances of Enchant's foundation being shook.
以前にも増してイルは趣味を満喫しているようだ我もどうにか付き合ってやりたいと思っているのだ行きたがる場所が場所なだけにそうどうしても限界が
That's Kana's blushing. I'm sure I couldn't help from smirking as there was no mistaking the embarrassment in Canis' voice. I know he's my hubby. I know his little colors by now. As expected, the only places II had expressed any interest in visiting were related to Otome. In other words, they swarmed with women. Although women who attended Otome events were something else entirely, II rarely felt comfy in spaces with members of the opposite sex.
最近はあなたとの外出に慣れたおかげだ外での立ち振る舞いもだいぶ板についてきたよ間違いなくイルにとってもいい傾向だ本人に代わって感謝するマスター
Oh, shucks. No need to thank me. It's no problem at all.
とはいえ油断だけはすんじゃねえぞ
Huh? Unlike Canis' show of gratitude, Ignis kept sneering, pointing his nose upward.
多少慣れてきたとはいえやっぱあいつは俺たちと比べてもいろいろと欠けてる部分が多いんだよ
This guy. If we hadn't went through what we went through in your storyline, Ignis, I promise. I don't promise anything, to be honest.
どんな行動が人間にとっての異常になるか何をしたらやばいのかそういう部分の理解度は想定よりもはるかにできてマジモンの箱入りなんだ
Don't baby me.
俺たちが一緒でも1秒目を離したら大惨事なんてことざらなんだ
I highly doubt it.
だから慣れてきたからって甘く見んなよ
I feel like I'm gonna regret me saying I highly doubt it. Walking nuclear bomb? Ignis, you're so dramatic. Dots from Ignis.
お待たせしましたそれでは出発しましょうか
Let's go. Yeah. All right, we'll be off. Ignis, Canis, make sure the place doesn't burn down while we're away, like you almost tried to do, trying to get II out the room.
任されたな
Ignis with his several dots. He don't believe in me, y'all. Look at this guy.
たく、あいつ俺たちが人外だってこと忘れてんじゃねえか?
No, it hasn't. Wow, amazing! As we settled into the eager crowd of fangirls, I heaved an astonished sigh. I like the posters, they do look cute. Gorgeous decorations, big illustration panels decorated all around us. At the back of shop was a humongous widescreen TV playing Otome related trailers on a loop. For a moment, I thought I had shameless plug here once again. For a moment, I thought I had found myself in just such a game, but that was silly. Oh, so silly. Just as I anticipated, he was in his element.
マスター、私たちの席はここです。早く座りましょう。食後には店内の撮影会もあるのですよ。
The fallen angel, liberated from his usual graceful veneer, frolicked around excitedly. I would like to frolic too. As I reminded him to calm down with a genuine laugh, I took a glance around. Two stood out, that much was true. Thankfully, unlike last time, it seemed the other guests assumed he was with me. The thought gave me relief, and I headed towards the seats Two motioned towards. As we were sat in our chairs, my eyes darted around the table, staring in awe at the luncheon mats and other memorabilia. I watched as Two carefully stowed the paper luncheon mats into a case without creasing them. Then we both peered at the menu. As we flipped through it, Two's eyes widened at the vibrant photographs inside. It ain't no menu without no omu rice. Look it up. It looks so good and it tastes just as delicious. I just love Two.
このメニューは私の一押しキャラクターの好物です。盛り付けを含む再現度はほぼ 100%。加え、専用のスプーンまでもが彼を象徴するマークでデザインされています。
Wow, they really spared no expense. I never would have noticed.
ええ、素晴らしい再現度と愛にあふれたファンサービスです。このメニューの考案者にはぜひ天の加護を施したいものですね。
Number 2 as a fallen angel, wanting to bless whoever designed the menu. Shouldn't you be blessing them since you're an angel? It does seem worth the money.
見てくれこれ気まぐれで買った宝くじが
Nice. Look at number 2. Already blessing folk.
マジですか先輩いくらゲットしたんです
Okay.
5000円
What is that, like $50? Hey, hold up. Hey Siri, what is 5,000 yen to US dollar? About $17 off. I was close. Huh? I'm about to say staff member B. Excuse me. Let me just go ahead and. He said that's nothing. Hey, $33 is a lot. That's hey.
バカ野郎嫁に財布を握られている身としちゃ大金だ今夜飲みに行くぞ俺がおごってやる
Well, don't buy a whole round. The man's cheery mood brought a smile to my face. I peered back at the menu. Okay, let's decide on what to order. You said we get one coaster per item, right? Two nodded. It seemed he already made up his mind. While it was rare for two to show any sort of interest in food aside from sweets, the occasion stirred something in him, and he ordered the stew, which caught his eye the moment he opened the menu. In that case, maybe I'll go with the pasta. Now for drinks. Order the Trinity. You already know I gotta. Hold on. Save it on up. Save that thing on up. All right. So of course I'm gonna pick both, but I know kind of how to choose for the good endings, it seems like. So I'm gonna do the order the trendy drink because I feel like 2's gonna want the character latte art. This one looks pretty. Maybe I'll go with this. Thus, I decided to order the drink, a sort of black and purple blended mix, which had something of a novel appeal. Give me just a second, guys. Okay. Our frothy beverages were quickly served along with our meal. When the server placed my drink in front of me, I was astonished by how similar it looked to the menu photo. Is this drink also an homage? A homage? A-E-I-O. So it should have been A. Yeah, I know some of my little, yeah. Is this drink also a homage to one of the characters? 2 closed his eyes and nodded as he began to explain in great detail.
ドリンクのモデルになっているのは、とある乙女ゲームの独占欲が非常に高い攻略キャラクターの青年ですね。彼は主人公を大事に思うあまり、恋愛感情を自覚した途端、自宅に監禁し、恋敵となる他の男性を社会的に抹殺しにかかります。
I'm kind of scared. I feel like 2's gonna trap me into his game and then he's gonna kill everybody. I don't know. I'm taking a photo. The games you play tell a lot about a person's character, personality. That's what I like to think. Wait, what?
口に付属しているレモンはおそらくそのシーンで用いられた手錠を表現しているのか。
What the heck? Yeah, we in some kinky BDSM stuff right now. I don't know what the heck. Lemon zest for handcuffs? What the heck? Oh, I see. All of a sudden, 2 revealed a piece of bizarre subtext that made me question whether or not I ordered the right drink. I mean, handcuffs? What in the world was this game? Despite my morbid curiosity, I lacked the courage to ask. Okay, so now I'm gonna go pick the other option. Okay, I think this would be the same. I'll just say it now. It occurred to me that asking any lingering questions would only confuse me more. So let's load it back on up and then choose the character latte art. The server set down her tray and placed down our meals along with our steaming cafe lattes. I noticed 2 had ordered the same thing. Whoever prepared the drink drew a lovely illustration directly on the foam. So yes, this is the right option. Refers to the technique of drawing pictures on the surface of cafe lattes and cappuccinos. There are 2 types: free pour, where the picture is made while pouring milk foam, and etching, where a special tool is used to draw detailed pictures after pouring the milk foam. I can't do none of that. I tried that in Coffee Talk and I was just making swirls all around the place. It was not sticking, y'all. Wow, this is amazing. How'd they do it?
そうでしょう、そうでしょう。崩すのを躊躇してしまうほどの出来です。
I would take a picture first, then drink it on up.
しかし飲み残すのはルール違反とのことです。せめて貴重な記録を残してからいただきましょう。
I knew Toot was gonna be my favorite route. I know it is. I know. Don't let me down. Toot joyfully took out his smartphone to snap photographs of the latte art, just as I surmised. I mimicked him, taking one photo myself to honor the occasion. I stared at it for a moment on my phone, taking in the finer details. This is an animal, right? It's cute, but what is it?
人間界の南半球の海に生息する鳥類の一種にして海鳥。通称ペンギンですね。
Oh, penguins. It's almost that time. It's been a while since I've seen penguins. It was a penguin? But look at the way its bangs curl. Why does it have an aristocratic haircut?
髪が生えていてもペンギンです。ジンゴも取得しています。
That's what I thought Kuroho is. He seems like a penguin. A bestia. I see. Well, I guess it's a video game after all.
かつ日本の神です。とある神社で祀られているそうで。
A god? This lore was getting out of control. The more I heard, the more puzzled I became. It occurred to me that asking any lingering... Oh, it's the same thing. I'll just repeat it. It occurred to me that asking any lingering questions would only confuse me more. So I decided instead to take in the rich aroma of my food and dig into the meal. It doesn't just look gorgeous, it also tastes delicious. Being a chef myself, on top of owning the cafe, it was a bittersweet admission, but I couldn't deny myself the stimulating experience, which only inspired me more. I wondered to myself how well received a line of illustrated lattes would be at Enchant, perhaps with latte art of the regulars. After all, no other cafe could claim that. Yes, what a wonderful idea it was. I twirled a fork's worth of pasta into a snug bite, mentally working out the details.
こちらのメニューもとても美味です。よろしければ一口お分けしましょうか。
Yes, I'm gonna eat some pasta too. Some tuna casserole. Huh? Is that good? Maybe I will.
はい。では。
Ah, yay, Two's feeding me. Ah, Two! Ah! No, my heart is just soaring. Ah! Okay. Hello, dots! Exclamation point for me. As I turned to face Two, I froze. To my surprise, a fancy spoon was held right before my face, neatly cradled with a touch of sauce on top. Ah, so this is the... Excuse me, I had to stop. Calm down. Okay. So this is the design made in the image of that character. Wait, this isn't the time for that. Two, is this?
遠慮せずにどうぞ。
That's not what I meant. As expected, his gesture drew attention from all around the cafe. A fact, however, to which Two seemed oblivious, showing no sign of embarrassment as 100 eyes were pointed at us. It's so cute.
行われている行為だったので、一度再現してみたかったのです。
Two's gonna be the death of me. He's dangerous. He plays a tome game, so he knows the way to a woman's heart. He flashed a look of genuine satisfaction. Then Two began to sway the spoon as though to urge me on.
どうしました？これは親しい者同士での普通の行為では？ SNS でもよく画像を見かけます。
I like to say no, but then yes. The world God only knows. Huh? That's right, but
それとも私はあなたとこの行為ができるほどの相互理解や親睦を満たしていませんか？
facto. That was not the case, of course. For all intents and purposes, I should have been close enough to Two by now. Honestly, it was simpler than that. I was embarrassed. That's from Two. But the last thing I wanted him to do was feel silly, so I tried to muster the courage. Just one bite. I let Two guide his spoon into my mouth, and I ate the stew.
いかがです？普通のシチューとは少し味付けが異なるでしょ
Yeah, it's delicious. I wonder what the secret ingredient is. It's love. I overcame the sudden trial, and as I let out a mental sigh of relief,
そうだ。私もあなたの料理を食してみたいです。
I hope you don't expect me to feed you Two, but I will. Poke. Two pointed to his own lips, smiling as though he waited for me to reciprocate. It was only natural for me to do so, right? As if to answer my question, he gazed at me with his innocent eyes, or not so innocent, because he know what he doing. With a bright red blush, I obliged. After completing the second sudden trial, as I take a bite of the additional dessert which Two had ordered,
グッズの注文はいかがなさいますか？
缶バッジとアクリルキーホルダーを私と彼女の2人分それぞれ上限ずつお願いします。
he already knew how to order that thing.
上限一杯ですね。かしこまりました。
His casual manner of requesting was impressive.
すみません。そのコースター、私が持っているキャラと交換してもらえますか？
What you got?
ええ、ぜひお願いします。こういう催しの参加経験は少ないので、そちらから申し出があり助かりました。
Then Two bounced happily around the different stations, trading duplicates with other girls. That's from me. If anything, I was thrilled that Two was enjoying his time at the cafe. Even for myself, there was merit to be found mingling with fans at such an event. It was a wonderful introduction to Otome. Of course, speaking of Otome games, I had recalled our conversation earlier that day. By the way, Two, I overheard you discuss some kind of remastered game with Ignis this morning.
マスター、もしやあの作品に興味が？
Possibly, if you're not gonna lock me up in a home and handcuff me with lemon zest. Yeah, you said it was the first Otome game you played after coming to the human world, right?
私が人間界に来て初めてプレイした乙女ゲームが近日リメイクにて再発売されるらしいのです。古いがゆえにソフトもハードも壊れ、ダウンロード版も発売されず、時代に取り残された悲しき名作。それが10年以上の時を経てまたプレイ可能になろうとは。これこそまさに奇跡。きっと私の原作への愛と祈りが天に届いた結果でしょう。 はい、あの作品で私は愛の素晴らしさを知りました。司るテーマは汚れなき真実の愛。
Or as I like to say, true love.
その響き自体が素晴らしい。あの作品こそが今の私を作り上げたのです。
I got the impression from II's heartfelt claim that the game left a huge mark on him.
やはり美しき愛を知るのに乙女ゲーム以上に参考になるものはありませんから。ああ、思い出したら発売日が待ち遠しくなってきました。早くこの手に届かないものでしょうか。
I feel your pain too. I can tell you're excited. Still, love, huh? I was hit with anxious thoughts of my own. What was it about love that had so thoroughly, excuse me. Was he a romantic? My gut instinct told me that his fascination with the concept was more rooted in his love for Otome rather than romance itself. Since he was an angel, on top of being referred to as Cupid, it seemed he just liked love. That seemed the likeliest situation. That's from II. In which case, what was the worth in questioning him about it? The more I discussed the game with him, however, the more interested I became. Not to mention, playing it would help me understand II better. If it's so interesting, then maybe I should try it too.
本当ですか?
Honto desu ka? Yeah, lately I have some time too and stamina to spare too. Same here. I mentioned this to II as I skipped to the menu's title info page, hoping to learn the hardware requirements. However, that's from me. What could I do? It was far more expensive than I had anticipated. I know, Nintendo, with your Switch 2. I could ask II if he would let me borrow it, but doing so likely meant less time for him to play it himself. That's from me. I looked up, lost in thought. That's from II. And there he was, still beaming with joy, ready to continue talking about the game in great, lengthy detail. After everything I said, it seemed painful to admit my doubt in being able to afford it. I guess I need to save up some money. I softly muttered under my breath so II wouldn't hear me.
やはり数の多いコースターコンプリートはそう簡単ではありませんでした。
Right. Since they're random, we ended up with a ton of duplicates. But we could go again. The Otome Cafe is going to be open for a while, right? II began to blink his eyes at me when I posed the question.
また来てくれるのですか? 私と共に?
Of course. Sure, if our schedules align. I affirmed II's hopes, causing his cheeks to relax.
嬉しいです。あなたが来てからというもの、自由に楽しく外出ができるようになりました。
If you can't tell, I'm gonna be capturing almost his whole pathway, his whole route.
もちろん今までソアンや港の外出も有意義ではありましたが、前回のイベントや今日のようなコラボカフェはなかなか来る機会もありませんでしたし。
I see. I'm happy if you're having fun too. We talked lively as we headed back to Unshant. At first glance, II was acting fairly normally, no different from any other pedestrians. But I couldn't help myself from letting Ignis's warning drift back into my head as I looked at II.
多少慣れてきたとはいえ、やっぱあいつは俺たちと比べてもいろいろと欠けてる部分が多いんだよ。どんな行動が人間にとっての異常になるか、何をしたらヤバいのか。
I just feel everyone doesn't give him enough credit.
そういう部分の理解度が想定よりもはるかにできて、マジモンの箱入りなんだ。
I did like the fact he said, and baby, 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 baby.
俺たちが一緒でも1秒目を離したら大惨事なんてことざらなんだ。だから慣れてきたからって甘く見んなよ。
That's from me. In these circumstances, II wasn't outwardly causing any problems, and our simple outings went smoothly. Considering II's carefree personality, sure, there were a number of things I needed to look out for, but yeah, it's nothing to worry. I mindlessly blurted my thoughts aloud. That's from II. As we approached a familiar park, II stopped walking.
マスター、公園で休憩にしませんか？歩いた距離から考えると少し疲労しているでしょ？
I surely am. Huh? But don't you want to hurry back to your room to open your goods?
台風のタイミングで中身は変化しませんし、もとよりあなたの体力より優先することではありません。
II, I value you just as much. He smiled gently as he made his suggestion. True, just as he said, my legs felt a bit sore. I see. In that case, would it be okay to accept your offer? Oh, the same park Ignis was playing around with. The same park that Renda was avoiding me at. And I'm not sure if Monsieur and I went to this park, Arcanus. Correct me if I'm wrong, y'all. Comment below. II and I found ourselves a nearby bench upon which we sat to take in the sights. Time slowly passed. Dots. More dots. The bustle of town echoed from the distance, along with lively voices of children. Combined with the fair weather and my fatigue, naturally... That was an actual yawn, by the way. A yawn spontaneously welled up from within. Whenever sleepy thoughts entered my head, oftentimes that would be it. I started to nod off to sleep.
マスター、そのまま私に身を預けて寝ても構いませんよ。
Yeah, of course I can relax around you too.
日が落ちる前には声をかけますから。
Thank you. At II's gentle prompting, my field of vision dimmed further and further. My cheek leaned over and touched his shoulder, and just before I passed out,
せっかくです。あなたが心地よく眠れるよう歌を奏でましょうか。
no, II, you gonna make me sleepy for real. Dang. That's from II. From II's throat, a clear and beautiful singing voice spread through the park. It lured me into a world of slumber. Dots. More dots. Even more dots. And several more dots. And even further more dots. As my thoughts began to dull, my field cut in and out. Why was I here? What was I doing? And some more dots. Unable to find the answer, my consciousness flittered between light and darkness. To and Monsieur.
おや、目が覚めましたか、マスター。
A soft-spoken voice lifted me from my heavy slumber. Ah! Thank you, too. I think I dozed off for too long. Right? Or so I was about to ask. Dots from some random person. Within my field of sight, there were several people collapsed to the ground. Oh, this guy put the whole park to sleep. I was dumbstruck. What's going on? Oh, so this is the nuclear bomb Ignis was talking about. Right before our eyes, men and women fainted throughout the park. Dots from some old man. The old man sitting on the bench next to us, hunched over like he had gone limp with closed eyes. That wasn't all. The dog, the animals too. Silence from the whole park. Probably this whole side of the city is asleep. Even dogs that were being walked and birds which moments earlier chirped in the trees had fallen to the ground. In other words, for some reason, every person and animal within the park lost consciousness, a bizarre situation, to put it lightly. This is bad. We need to call an ambulance. I hurriedly pull out my smartphone to make the call, but...
必要ありませんよ。彼らは単に眠っているだけです。
There it is. Huh? Too nonchalantly interrupted me. As he said, when I took a closer look at the unconscious people, knocked out. One was snoring away, resting comfortably with his tongue sticking out. Two? A cold sweat dripped down my back. Don't tell me this was...
はい、これは私の歌、砲術の影響です。
Yep, and there it is.
あなたがよく眠れるようにと行ったのですが、どうやら範囲内にいた彼らにも影響してしまったようですね。
At least his heart was in the right place.
時間が経てば自然と目を覚ましますし、何も問題はないかと。
Yeah, and probably, well, they're in Japan. I know there's fairly low crime rate, but still. That's from me. I screwed up! I was at my wit's end, ready to scream. Within no time, wait, how long will that be?
そうですね。みんな体勢のない人間
No!
効果は3日ほど継続しますね。
So was I out for that long? What the heck? That's practically a coma. Then from outside the park, people gather in large numbers, noticing the mass of people who were rendered asleep. What should we do? Today's top story. An entire park has inexplicably fallen into a coma. I was beginning to see the headlines playing on TV in the future, but I couldn't just leave these people in their current state, so I thought it best to call an ambulance. As I grabbed my smartphone out of my pocket, two familiar figures drew out from the crowd and began to approach us.
二人とも
Rendo in his non-human form. I can never look at him the same. He even has the little sad eyes now. I can't unsee it anymore.
あ、 しゃー、術の気配から予想はしてたけど、やっぱりいる。
All two's fault. I was just asleep. Monsieur Rendo.
奇遇ですね。二人が共にいるとは珍しい。一緒にお出かけを。
そんなわけないでしょう。僕は完全な通りすがり。ミシェルは君のやらかしに感づいてきたんだよ。
Rendo seemed a bit flustered. He motioned with his eyes towards us at Monsieur, urging him to say something.
はいはい、言われなくても対応しますとも。ああ、君たち人間組は耳塞いでて。
I'm with the question mark.
赤い名物ハーピーの鳴き声アラーム。スイッチオンってね。
So you're a siren now. Harpy, a monster that appears in Greek mythology, also called Harpuia. Harpuia? The face and chest are of a human woman, but the rest of the body is a bird, including wings. They often appear in RPGs as an enemy. Okay. Yeah, I know. Persona. As Rendo and I put our hands to our ears, Ow! Even with my ears covered, the shrill voice pierced through my head. After several seconds, all of the slumbering people and animals began to wake one by one in confusion.
ま、とりあえずこんなもん。目撃者へのフォローは頼むよ、リンド。
OK。そっちはすでに手配済み。それより、まずはうちの打天使様にお説教だね。
Don't go too hard on my man now. Dots from 2. 2 was taken by total surprise. All he could muster as a response was a troubled tilt of his head at Rendo. With the uproar in the park settled, we all managed to return to Enchant. However, 2 sat poised in his chair with all of the other regulars encircled around him. Rendo 2 was at the center, slamming his fist onto the table as he interrogated 2. Now Rendo.
さて、イル。何か言いたいことはあるかい？
Where was this at with Mikado?
そうですね。あえて意見するのであれば、カリア、そこの計算は間違っています。今出した値は X ではなく Y の方へ代入するのが正解です。
え、マジで？ああ、これ引っ掛け問題か。助かった。ありがとう。
What the heck? He's helping solve equations? After receiving the instruction, Karya, who was bent over in a seat a few tables over, ran his pen through his homework assignment.
そうじゃないでしょ。
Yeah, wait, let me go back. So, you got anything to say for yourself? What? Yeah. What are you like? How did you get from Rendo asking that question to you helping Karya help his solve his homework issue, his math problem issue?
先ほどからリンドはなぜそこまで憤っているのです？私はただ歌っていただけですが。
Oh, two.
それに公園で歌ってはいけないとそのような諸注意を受けた記憶はありません。
Two's lack of concern prompted Rendo to grab him angrily by the temples, forcing Two to look up at him. With a look of indifference, Kanas cut into the conversation.
まずはお前が歌った結果引き起こされた事態を振り返ってみよう。
The voice of reason, my first scenario hubby. As instructed, Two reflected back to that time. Dots from Two.
聞けば昨今の人間は忙しさのあまり睡眠時間が不足し体調を崩しているとのこと。
Such a smart Alec.
よって彼らは私の歌により短時間とはいえ質の良い睡眠が取れました。
I mean,
先行と解釈しますがいかがでしょう。
no objection for me. He gazed back proudly in an almost divine way.
それはそう。
I'm so gone. See, Two is in the wrong. He should just be a lawyer. He over there turning people's opinions around.
いやちげえだろ。
What you got, Ignis? With your hurting my number 2 that badly and devouring me. Well, you took a chunk out of me. I saw Monsieur straining a smile at this interaction, so I asked him a question. Monsieur, does Two's magic work whenever he sings? As I recalled time in which we walked in the coolness of the evening light. I remember that. I'm gonna take another picture. Two was singing, which sprang forth a miracle of sorts.
状況によりけりかな。今回は意識せずに歌ったからあんな形で周囲を巻き込んだけど。 通常はちゃんと対象や範囲を指定して発動させるからそうそうこんなことは起きないよ。
I see. So this doesn't always happen. That's good. Well, maybe not good?
それとイルの法術は決して歌が必須というわけではないようなのだがな。それでも天使が法術を行使する上で歌は重要な儀式となるようだ。
Makes sense.
より上質な効果を望む、もしくは大規模な術を使う、そういった場合に用いるらしい。
In other words, by performing a divine hymn, he strengthens his spell's powers. An angel song. An important ritual for angels. By offering a song to heaven, they can be bestowed with increased magic power or other desired effects. What a thought-provoking concept.
この国の神社や祭りでも神に恵みを祈り舞が捧げられるでしょ。あれと似たような感じなのかもね。
Ah, I get it. That's from me. Wait, if it was a prayer, does that mean Two had prayed for me to rest, which resulted in his powerful lullaby? Put simply, the cause of the disturbance was my own existence? I became dizzy with anticipation and began to sweat bullets in my head.
ともかくさ、今回も後処理はどうにでもしておくけど、イルは周囲への影響を考えて動くこと。
このやりとりも何回目だろうね。動揺 当の質問であれば、私がアンシャンテに来てから計37回ほど経験していますね。
All your criminal offenses too.
そこを覚えてるんなら、その先を学習しろっつうの。
まったくだな。
Before I knew it, the cafe's usual calm atmosphere was disturbed. Dots from me. More dots from me. Huh? Everyone, wait a second. Are you already done with this conversation? Everyone gave me a puzzled tilt of the head in response to my question and blinked curiously. Ignis, though. I know things thankfully worked out, but a lot of people were involved. Maybe you should get II to understand a little more about how dangerous it could have been. You know, like, shouldn't you explain it a little more to him? I turned my gaze once again to II, the one at the center of this. And he's just over there with his dots and a music note. His eyes were closed as he was lost in song. There was no mistaking it. He had no idea how dangerous that situation could have been. Not the slightest grasped. So I'm gonna go ahead and scold this man. Alright, so let's choose scold first. If you're going to get mad, you may as well reprimand him. Vocalizing my harsh opinion brought a wistful look out of II.
そうですか。私は今からあなたに怒られるのですね。
Making me feel all bad. Oh, that's right. What about it? I can see why it would be difficult to scold him. I cleared my throat and took a deep breath. Took a breath. With everyone's effort, we could make sure that no matter what II does, we can trust him to make the right call. However, we shouldn't miss an opportunity to teach him, not without our help. II needs to be able to think and make decisions for himself. We should encourage that. After all, in the end, the one to face the consequences and suffer will be II himself. Honestly speaking, my guess is that II will write this off as only being prohibited from singing in the park. I began to explain in great detail. Everyone had a surprised look on their face, but they seemed to understand.
それは、まあ、確かに。
Messier's like, I don't feel like doing that, so I'm gonna load this on right back up and choose explain, which I feel like is the better option. Just because it worked out in the end, I don't think we can leave it there. He needs to know why you were scolding him and why his actions were problematic. We should explain it thoroughly and talk about it in specifics until II understands.
具体的な説明。なるほど。確かにそれがあれば、私も対策のしようがあるかもしれません。
Surprisingly, II responded affirmatively to my suggestion. I cleared my throat and took a deep breath. I keep saying deep breath. What the heck? I cleared my throat and took a breath. With everyone's effort, we could make sure that no matter what II does, we can trust him to make the right call. However, we shouldn't miss an opportunity to teach him, not without our help. II needs to be able to think and make decisions for himself. We should encourage that. After all, in the end, the one to face the consequences and suffer will be II himself. Honestly speaking, my guess is that II will write this off as only being prohibited from singing in the park. Oops. I began to explain in great detail. Everyone had a surprised look on their face, but they seemed to understand.
それ
天使だからイルだからそんな風に考えてしまって僕たちで対応するのが前提だったのかも。
言われてみりゃそうだよな。てめえ自身が理解しないから何度でも同じことをやっちまう。
Ignis just be letting loose.
ここで過ごす中での常識に我らは甘えていたのかもしれんな。
Even so, despite saying that, it occurred to me that changing II's pattern of thought would be quite the challenge. For now, I decided to explain to him about this specific disturbance. II?
はい、何でしょうか。
While it's true that humans value their sleep, it wouldn't be safe for someone to suddenly pass out, then maybe bump their head on the ground, right? That would be dangerous. So going forward, I sound like a supervisor. Oh, I sound like my manager, y'all. I hate that going forward speech. Like, okay. I would appreciate it if you took that into consideration. Would that explanation suffice? That's from II. What exactly did his silence mean? Normally II was all smiles, so when he became stone-faced, I had no idea what he was thinking.
なるほど。人間の脆さを失念していました。確かにそれは危険なことですね。
There we go, II. I knew you could do it.
わかりました。以後外で催眠系の術を使うのは控えることにします。
Yeah. Okay, that's right. Excellent. He grasped what I was telling him. With a sense of relief, I stretched out my arms, after which Ignis said something with a yawn.
ま、解決したならいいけどよ。今朝俺が言った言葉の意味、嫌っつうほど分かったろ。
Yeah, you were right. Too right, almost. Maybe we need to reassess things. It was really fortunate that no one got hurt, just sheer good luck. But if our fortunes turned, dots from me. For now, it was nothing more than a what if scenario, but still, it came to mind. While thinking such things, I went to Rendo and bowed at him slightly. I'm sorry about this, Rendo. I'm sure it takes a lot of work to mobilize GPM.
ああ、いや、いいんだよ。実際君の言う通り、僕も注意を適当に済ませてたところがあったし。
No, I was the careless one here, or so it seems. But without even going that far, GPM is a government organization, so we can't keep bugging them. As I was deep in conversation with Rendo, I overheard a conversation that was going on concurrently behind me.
なぜ私のことでマスターが謝罪をするのでしょうか。
そりゃ監督責任ってやつだろ。お前の世間知らずを承知で連れ出したんだからな。
Oh.
監督責任
I had to take a game clip of this. And then a picture. Oh, it's okay too. And now we're in II's perspective. Well, let's see. I guess I kind of sound a little bit normal. I wouldn't say that he has like a feminine voice, but it is kind of like, well, angelic in a way. So, several hours later, after all of us had finished our dinner, Supervisor responsibility. When a high-ranking member of a team takes responsibility on behalf of their team. I opened a dictionary on my smartphone and repeated the definition in my head. Dots. To think there was a custom for falling on the sword for someone else's blunder. But then I remembered when Rendo went all over Amasaki Island on an apology tour. Who received what benefit for the establishment of such a rule? Humanity was truly incomprehensible.
さすがに彼女へ謝罪をすべきでしょう。
No need for all that too. My lack of foresight had embarrassingly moved Renoni, that's me, to bow in apology. She seemed truly regretful. This stirred feelings I couldn't quite place, but manifesting such consequences inspired me never to make the same mistake again. I crept quietly downstairs. I overheard a running faucet. It seemed she was in the kitchen, tidying things up after dinner. Slowly, I continued. I tiptoed towards the kitchen. Dots, question mark, exclamation point. Something had pulled my collar from behind, forcibly halting me in place. I sensed no physical force, but rather a magical manipulation of space. There was only one being other than myself capable of just such magic. Monsieur.
こらこらストップ。イルは厨房できんでしょ。
Dang, I remember that he was banned from just about everything.
欲しいのはジュース、ケーキ。俺が取ってきてあげるから、ここでおとなしく待ってな。
Like this person ain't a whole grown person. As expected, it was Monsieur.
違います。私はただマスターに。コーヒー。ああ、カフェラテ入れてほしいの。なら片付けが終わるまで待たなきゃね。いえ、ですから。
He misunderstood my objective completely. However, I had no time to explain, and he forcibly sat me down at a stool beside the counter.
おい、そんじゃ俺は魔界に戻るから、ちゃんと彼女に時間外料金を払うのを忘れないようにね。
Go ahead back to your demon world of destruction, Monsieur. With that parting gift, Monsieur fled the room, shutting the gate behind. I had been given clear instructions not to enter, so I had no choice. All I could do was wait here for me, Renoni, to come out.
おい、こっちの皿洗い終わったぞ。空拭きは我に任せ。
Okay, thanks you two. It seemed I had erred, for Renoni was not alone. Canas and Ignis kept her company. Judging by their tone of voice, they were assisting her with the cleaning. Dots. More dots. Even more dots. For some reason, I was assailed by a dull knock of emptiness. Aw, Two is lonely without me.
まだしばらく時間がかかりそうですし、部屋に戻りましょう。
Possibly. With that, I marched back to my room. Then I rested my cheek upon the hammock which lay in place of a bed. Normally, I would immediately pick up a nearby game console and start up an Otome game, but some more dots. At the moment, it felt like a hollow pursuit. In open public spaces, I had been forbidden from singing divine hymns. If only they had told me earlier, I wouldn't have erred so egregiously. However, where could I have obtained such information? I hadn't been here in 10 years. Such matters were of no consequence before. When Suon was still alive, this place, Enchant, my world, was my world. I once believed Otome games to be the cornerstone of my emotional education, and therein lies the problem. You need real world experience, as myself, too. Once in a while, Ignis would drag me out, or I'd venture outside with Suon, but no matter what occurred, it was swiftly dealt with, and no such criticism had been levied against me, or levied at me. I'm just adding all types of extra words. Excuse me, y'all. All right. Which is why I had no need to learn of the world outside, nor did I have any interest. But now it's different. Ever since That's Me, Renoni arrived, my curiosity in the outside world blossomed. I sought knowledge outside of my comfort zone. But my fervor, in tandem with my carelessness, caused considerable trouble for That's Me, Renoni. Not only had she escorted to something I insisted upon. Oh my gosh, tongue tied. Hold on. Not only had she escorted to something I insisted upon seeing, I repaid her kindness by foisting responsibility onto her. Now this game, now y'all gotta realize that sometimes we like simple words. Dang. So dots from 2 as me. These cryptic feelings stirred tirelessly within me, so I sought comfort by nervously caressing my limited edition figurine. The means and process to purchase such goods was well recorded, so I learned it immediately. Over and over, Rendo, Ignis, and others instructed me to do so. However, no matter how many internet pages I parsed through, I found no such documents. I hadn't a clue what to reference. What were Sense and Sensibility? A book? How had they differed from manners? What things are allowed to be done? What things are subject to punishment? What helps others adapt to the human world as if it were nothing? And oh, that's me. I definitely am a good human. She politely listened to what I have to say and took me to places at my request. Causing trouble for her was no admirable act. That at least I understood. Then another going forward. All right. Then going forward, to avoid repeating the same thing, was it best for me to refrain from ever asking her to take me outside? Ah. Dots from me as 2. What the heck? More dots.
いる。入っても構わぬだろうか。
A voice at the door interrupted me whilst deep in thought. This low, piercing voice belonged to Canis. Had he finished assisting me? Renoni. I had no particular reason to refuse him entry. Come in, I returned through the door.
失礼する。夕食時のお前の様子が少々気にかかってな。今回の件についてだが、あまり気に病むな。無論、お前自身が己を見直す必要はある。だが、偏った対応を取ってきた我々にも、それなりの責任が。
More dots from me, S2. Even more dots from me, S2.
いる。どうしたのだ。
それは私の言葉です。どうしたのですか、カヌス。私の顔を見つめているのでしょう。
Not quite sure how I can tell he's staring at him when he ain't got no face. A strange feeling came buzzing in my ear. Had I struck a nerve with him?
いや、何かいつもと雰囲気が異なるような気がしてな。さすがのイルも反省しているということか。
That's from me, question mark? Induced by Canis tilting his head in question at me, I returned the same gesture. Back to my perspective. Renoni! The following day, thanks to everyone's quick reactions, the incident never went public. But we weren't totally off the hook.
ほほー、なるほどなるほど。それは面白いことが起きたものだね。
I can't even look at these people the same. I was just immediately like, this guy and this guy and this gal. Oh my goodness. They know what they were doing with these different scenarios, man. Just messing up my mental state. Fuck you, Jomi. It's really sad. Especially since he caused Ignis to be beaten up on me. Well, too. So at the time, an unusual combination of guests had visited. Of all the regulars who normally could handle the rush without issue, only Rendo was here with me. Yeah, and then with him saying that, it's just, come on, y'all. Y'all know what y'all doing. These two are here as customers right now, but Karia know what's up. Mikado over here trying to kill the whole world for Q or Shizuku, and Jomi over here trying to kill the whole world using Ignis, so he know what's up. Right? Yeah. Both of them. I love the little Easter eggs with number 2. Like, if I hadn't have did Ignis's and Rendo's before 2, I just really, like, I wouldn't have thought anything was off, obviously. Karia and Kororo next to him clicked their tongues at the same damn time. Yeah, I added that damn in there.
ごめんね。昨日の騒動を聞きつけたのか、どうしても連れて帰ってうるさくてさ。ミカドのやつ、最近はドローミともよくつるんでて、その時もたまたま一緒だったから。
No, it's fine. There's still customers here. I appreciate their business. Our lively chat continued for a short while.
いやー、それにしてもつくづく打天使というか、彼の得意性は興味深いね。
Mikado had given up on his poking his hot cakes with his fork, gazing at the stairs leading to the second floor. Did you say peculiar? Jeez Louise. Did you say peculiar? Jeez, I know peculiarity. There we go. Sometimes your mouth just don't work, especially when you've been freaking talking all day.
そうだと思う。彼は人外の中でもレア中のレア、天使なのだよ。身体、頭脳ともに優れた存在にもかかわらず、人間界についての知識を身につけるのが非常に遅い。
I guess I could say at least I'm glad Mikado and them are like here alive, because I was bawling at the end of Rendo's path. It was third piece for me.
この矛盾、得意性と言わずして何というのかね。
Now that Mikado had said it so fervently, I stopped working for a minute.
考えてみればそうっすね。俺だってもうここにはある程度馴染んでるのに不思議っす。なんつうかあの抜けっぷり、天然の一言で片付けていいんすかね。
That's
というわけでだよ。この際、イル君も一度カリア君のように精神鑑定を受けたらどうかな。そう、むしろ今からでも。
Nah. Upon saying this, Mikado ran up the stairs to the second floor. Hey, wait! You can't just go up on your... However, without a moment's delay, Rendo grabbed him by collar and restrained him. I wish you could have did that on the last one, but okay, I'm gonna stop now. I'm gonna stop.
話したまえ。当然今ありがたく受け取っておくべきなんだぞ。
いや、お前のは善意じゃなくて単なる好奇心だからね。この後向井と合流する予定なんだろう。
僕は諦めないからな。首、もとい羽を洗い、ふっかふかにして待っていたまえ。ラテンシことイル君。
羽毛布団かよ。
After being casually tossed out by After being casually tossed out by Rendo, Mikado strides away from the shop.
言ってる当人がイルさんに負けず劣らず変人っす。
Really? Right. I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. It almost felt like Carrero gave Jomi a cold look and told him, "You're one to talk." Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Heck yeah.
っていうかさ、俺思ったんだけど、人外って大半はいるみたいなもんなんじゃない？カヌスたちとかがこっちに馴染むのが早すぎるだけで。
Dots and question mark from Rendo. What do you mean?
ほら、俺体調管理のためにたまにメディオへ空気を吸いに行ってるじゃん。そこで小さい妖精とかにちょくちょく会うんだけどさ、やっぱこっちの話が通じないっていうか、まずホニャララとは何って知識の話から始まるんだよね。
Hold on, guys.
そういうもので通じるから説明なんていらないじゃん。
Oh my goodness, hold on, goodness. Upon hearing Karya's words, Rendo realized something.
あ、そうか。例えば妖精に対して車道は危険だから気をつけろって忠告しても。
まず車が何かから説明して、そこからまた車の何が危険なのかまで説明しなきゃいけない。
Okay. Right, when you're ordering some food, make sure you order it yourself. But okay, that made total sense. After all, fairies had wings. There was no need for cars in their world.
妖精たちはメディオだけで生活が完結してるからいいけどさ。
Right?
ミルは人間界で生活するのが精一杯で、それを学ぶ機会が存在しなかったんじゃない。まあもちろん自分から引きこもってた影響もあるんだろうけどさ。
That's not a bad habit. That's just needing your solitude. We need to recharge as introverts. That's right. II's homeland, also known as Calum, seems to put value in different things. That's from Rendo. What was he thinking? Rendo went silent with a serious look on his face. Maybe Grandpa had felt the same. He had put all his effort into helping II settle into a normal life. There was no time to teach him anything else. If only he had more time. But if II ever changed his mind, if he strongly desired to know more about the human world, I'd want to help him however I could to help him fulfill his dream. However, speaking of II, he hasn't shown up to the cafe at all.
いつものことじゃないっすか。きっとゲームに夢中なんすよ。
No, I don't know what you mean. All right. I guess that's true, but I just hope he's not too down about yesterday. I looked over at the stairs that Mikado charged towards only a minute ago. a flurry of anxious feelings came at me. In the end, after sunset, it was time to close the shop, but II never came downstairs. I went out to buy things for dinner. As I greeted and chatted with townspeople who I had met along the way, I realized something. Compared to everyone else, I don't hear much talk about II. Of course, some people expressed concern for him, like the elderly couple I passed by, but for the most part, nothing conspicuous. It's probably because when Grandpa was still alive, he never got to leave the house, which explains why II never realized how peculiar his values and behaviors came off to others. Since II started coming outside, I don't really want to restrict him too much. Right, I just have to be more careful next time. Carelessness is the greatest enemy. I engraved those words into my heart. Just then, by sheer coincidence, I happened to pass in front of a game store. Sitting in front of the store was a large retail TV which played lively music. Dots for me, ? I was hit with deja vu as I choked my stare at what played on the TV screen. Oh right, is this an ad for that memorable Otome game II mentioned? When the title was finally revealed, my hunch was confirmed, so I stuck around to watch it. Oh, it was the footage and editing. I ended up making a low voice of impression, much like Canis would when... Who are you? ? Behind me, someone talked from pretty close distance, and I swung around quickly in surprise. Oh, it's the assistant to Mikado. You should have known what was up with him. Did he kill you too? I don't even know what happened. Dots from the assistant. Before I knew it, standing there was a man who I've seen before, but don't really know. He's wearing a hood, and his face is almost totally hidden. Ah, if I recall, you were Mikado's assistant?
GPM 開発課課長三門明は私の雇用主だ。
Hello, this is the first time we've spoken, right? I'm Renoni Awaki. It's nice to meet you. Dots from the assistant. Did he not hear me?
いかなる理由でこの映像を観察していたのか。
This video, he meant the Otome game ad, right? Out of interest, I guess. One of my regular customers has been looking forward to this game's release. Oh, yes, it's him. Mikado must have told you, right? He said it was a remake of the first Otome game he ever played. Unlike Mikado, you're not very interested in II, are you?
回答を拒否する。第三者に語る必要性を感じない。
I see. A silent type or just a bookish person.
無駄話が過ぎた。三門明よりこと捨てを預かっている。
I'm good on his messages. You can keep it. From Mikado? For me? When he visited the shop around lunch, he was forced to leave, so maybe he didn't get to tell me.
天崎島における事件。林道薫による妖精会メディオの調査資料の増加により。
Ah, okay.
三門明はしばらく多忙となり、安倍刈谷の身体検査を担当することが不可能となった。
Wait, then what should we do in the meantime?
もとより、安倍刈谷は自主的に GPM に出向く傾向がない。よって三門明の代理として、私が次回以降のアンシャンテに出向き、彼の検査を担当する。
Oh, I see. Mikado must be having a tough time. I understand. I'll let everyone know. What? And while you're at it, please come by to enjoy some coffee as a guest too. I don't really see him drinking it, but then Kanas can drink and eat, I guess. So, yeah. That's from the assistant. Anyway, I'll be going now. Please treat Karia well. That's from the assistant. He wants to get that game.
ああ、やっと見つけた。こんなところにいたのかい、女子くん。まったく、人を迎えに来ると言いながら、約束の時間も場所もガン無視するとはね。おかげでこの人混みの中、君の姿を探す羽目になったよ。何度おまわりさんに声をかけられたことか。
Even more dots from the assistant.
ところで、去り際の姿がちらっと見えたけど、アンシャンテのマスターと話していたのかい？直接会話するのは初めてだろう。どうだい？彼女に対する印象は。
Stop it. You're not about to experiment on me next. I ain't having it.
平凡。平均的なステータスしか有しない人間。
Exactly. Ordinary me.
あれを御する力など、かけらも持っていない。
And I don't want to control anything.
つまり興味なしと。厳しい評価だね。喫茶店のマスターにそんな能力を求めるのも酷だと思うけど。
それよりも帝明。
ん？
この広告映像、乙女ゲームなる娯楽機構について、いかなるものなのか、詳細な説明を要求する。
It's almost scary how I identified that each person close to the main character, like I said, well, I don't even think Vendog was that close. It was really Titania, but Vendog was the one that portrayed Titania by throwing me into that flower. So with the exception maybe of Canis, you know, Dromi to Ignis, then Mikado to Rendo, then there would be the video games to 2. And I'm not quite sure what Monsieur's is. I guess it's just maybe his throne, like his kingdom or whatever. I don't know. But I figured the video games was going to be maybe the evilness in his little scenario. We'll see. Back to 2's perspective. After I had secretly watched Renoni depart, that's me, so that I could go shopping. That's from me. I returned to my room and began to play Otome games as I normally would. I could not shake yesterday's events from mind. As Canis had suggested, it was imperative for me to live as usual. However, my thoughts and actions contradicted. Normally, the stories of love shared between the characters on my screen would cause my heart to flutter. I could hardly put on my headphones. Is it really okay for me to be carefree and play Otome games like this? Well, sure it is. Absent-mindedly, I returned my gaze to the Otome game screen in my hands. I pressed the progression button. The next message is, "Thank you for all your help. You're so dependable." The heroine, I feel like I'm saying heroin, like the other thing. The heroine's lines of gratitude to one of the main characters displayed. Dots. For some reason, while the word itself wasn't too unusual, it caught my eye. I pondered the meaning of the word, which suddenly appeared in my view. I realized I had never taken the opportunity, and I searched through my memory. In Otome games, if something happened, it often was the case that a love interest would help out.
少々意地悪をする者はいますが、問題を起こして主人公を困らせるようなものは少数のはず。最終的には主人公を助け、好意的に捉えられるものが大半。
Perhaps that goes for me, Renoni, as well. If she has a similar state of mind as this heroine, Monsieur, do you have a moment? I found some unusual coffee beans, so I wanted to try blending them. I wanted your thoughts on the taste and to ask for any advice you have.
もちろん、ミシェル先生がしっかり助言してあげますとも。
Mr. Monsieur, MM. Sorry about this, Connus. I know I asked you to carry everything. Is it heavy?
この程度は軽いものだ。他にできることがあれば何でも言ってくれ。
So he's feeling very useless. You're not useless too. We can always game together, and that's what matters.
お前な、一人で外出るなら隙だらけで歩くのやめろっての。ダチの悪いナンパ野郎に絡まれるのこれで何回目だ。
None. You say that, but how can I not be so vulnerable? But I'm glad you showed up to help, Ignis. Thank you. And stop trying to rely on people. Tell that boy gone. But you gotta be careful. People be out here, men and women, but men, y'all be crazy. Let me just say that. You turn down a guy, they over here likely to do that. And let me not say that, but it's just crazy out here. I recall daily life here with the figures of others helping. That's me, Renoni. In contrast,
マスター、マスター、今日時間は空いていますか？あなたに折り入ってお願いがあります。
oh, yeah, I see.
可能ならば今日中にここに私を連れて行ってほしいのです。
Two, I just baked these wonderful cookies you mentioned before.
ありがとうございます。あなたの焼いたクッキーは程よい甘さで大変好ましいのです。私は特にこのココア生地が練ってあるクッキーの味を気に入っています。
When you say that, it makes it worth making them. Oh, I'll clean the dishes, so leave them there. Are there any other snacks you want? It might take some time to practice, but I'm up to the challenge.
そうですね。では。
Dots from me as two. Even more dots from me as two. I stood in reflection until I realized
私はほとんどマスターの役に立っていないのでは。
In fact, I asked her for things and pampered, and now I've created more work for her. Well, in a way, I suppose nothing's changed since Suwon was around. But with her, when it comes to Renoni, for some reason, I have the urge to rebuke myself. Dots from me. Even though right now she's not in low spirits or in any sort of trouble, but that doesn't change how kind she is as Enchant's keeper, for which I am grateful. Therefore,
そのためにできることを。
dots from me as two. Before I realized it, I had put away my game console and walked in front of a certain room.
あ、誰だよ。
私です。
箱入り？お前が俺たちの部屋に来るなんて珍しいな。入っていいぜ。
A hermit? While I was somewhat accustomed to the term, it stung as I entered the room. There's no sign of Kanas. He's likely returned to Medio. I decided to get straight to the point.
イグニス、あなたに尋ねたいことがあるのですが。
んだよ、またゲームの話か。なら俺じゃなくてカヌスかあいつあたりに。
I shake my head. Then
あなたが言う箱入りから変わるにはどうすればいいのでしょう。
は
Well, at least he's being proactive. Back to my perspective. So, there you have it. For a while, Mikado's assistant will be stopping by. Don't be surprised if he enters the shop. Just greet him as normal. While they partook in their dinner, I told everyone about my earlier conversation. I already told Rendo, who isn't here, and the main person concerned, Karya, through my smartphone.
了解。にしてもアンシャンテにも新規の顧客が増えたね。
少し前までは想像もしていなかった変化だ。
大半がろくでもねえ客だけどな。あの変人の部下ね。癖がある予感しかしねえな。
警戒は必要であろうな。
Just being Mikado's assistant has done huge damage to his reputation. Oh, that reminds me. I forgot to ask his name. I should ask next time. Until he tells me, I go with Mr. Assistant for convenience. As I think about calling him this, II in his pensive state with his dots. I take a glance over at II, who had finished eating his pancakes and ice cream parfait. He's quiet right now, but he was responding like normal during dinner. It seems he's gone back to his usual self, so I'm relieved. Just then...
ごっそさん、今日の飯もなかなかだったぜ。
Ignis finishes eating his last bite. Everyone takes that as a signal to say their after-meal greetings. Then, everyone except for II stands up from their seats to carry their dishes to the kitchen. As usual, Messire and Canis go to take II's items. Oh, that's from II. So they tried. II picks up his plate and avoids their outstretched hands. Oh, dots and question mark for Messire and Canis. Dots and a question mark for me. What's wrong? He would always just smile and thank them for taking it. II looks at the plate in his hands and his face stiffens into a somewhat dignified look.
私、自分で片付けます。
There you go, II. With an uncertain manner in his hands, he stacks the plates he was using and raises them up. Strains to keep them balanced and walks towards the kitchen entrance. Dots from all of us around. I don't know why that's funny, but it's just funny to me. Hold on. Dots. At that time, At that moment, exclamation point, question mark, exclamation point, question mark. From all three of us, a great commotion overtook Unshan.
バカな。イルが自ら片付けを。一体何が起きたというのだ。
今やってる乙女ゲームにすごい鬱エンドがあって、その精神的ショックでどうにかしちゃったとか。
Mikado! Wait, no, maybe we should call Mr. Assistant to do a medical exam.
お前らな、冷静に考えろ。逆に今までこんぐらいのこともしてなかったのがおかしいんだっつうの。
100% facts. That's true, but this is too sudden, so I'm worried.
あいつだって気が変わることぐらいなんだろ。ごちゃごちゃ騒いでねえでよ。俺らもとっとと片付け。
What? Why he got that look on his face? Dots question mark exclamation point. Ignis's face suddenly stiffened. He pointed his gaze towards II's hands as he entered the kitchen.
バカ！お前なんで大皿をコップの上に重ねてんだ。んな持ち方じゃ落とすに決まってん。
Well, he tried. He's trying with his dots. That night, the fallen angel's redemption was punctuated by the shattering of a dozen dishes. Dang, how many? So he's washing all the dishes. I know he didn't have a dozen plates. It thundered beautifully throughout Unshan. Oh, we on chapter 2 now. Oh, that ended beautifully. Like I said, I already know 2's route will be so sweet, hopefully sweet. We don't need none of the sadness. So thank you all so much for tuning in. Next up, of course, will still be some more Mafia, the Old Country, and like I said, some more Resident Evil Outbreak, Resident Evil 4, along with Resident Evil 4 visual novel. So be sure to look out for those video game drops when I get them done and released. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe with that little bell jingle turned on so you all stay tuned in, my wonderful people filled with greatness. And as always, much love, much peace, and catch you on the flip side.